All right, how's everyone doing? I'm Rich Celenza. Thanks for tuning into the Rich Celenza Show. WTF are you talking about? So today what I want to call is learn to be all ears in your life at times, I guess you could say. I'm going to probably just title it Learn to be all ears. And what I mean regarding that is, I think a lot of us, I'm one of these people for long periods of time, still do it off and on, is, I'm not always listening. And even if it looks like I'm listening, I'm thinking about whatever I'm thinking about, not truly paying attention to what other people are saying. I think I learned this from a young age because I hated school. And I would be in school and the teacher was just, and they would talk and talk and talk, and I eventually just learned how to block them out. And you'd swear I'm looking right in your eyes, and you'd swear I'm focused 100% and comprehending everything you're saying, but I'm not getting, it's literally going in one ear out the other. I mastered that. I'm not going to lie. That goes for anyone because I also have two parents that like to talk a lot. They're very extroverted, along with many, many other family members on both sides of my family. And I have a lot of crazy fun friends that are very extroverted too, which I love. And then being basically raised in a nightclub bar business, I was constantly around audio. I call it audio assault because basically if people weren't screaming, yelling in your ear, jukebox is blasting, a band's playing, a band's not playing, a comedian's performing, the DJ's blasting. It was nonstop audio. So I had to train myself to block it out. And when you would think being in a nightclub bar business, you would love all that because, people go to pay and enjoy themselves for that type of atmosphere. But if you're kind of born into it, it's actually sometimes quite the opposite, just like anything else, right? If you're around it 24/7, it ain't nearly as fun as you think it is. But lately, maybe it's because of my age, I have definitely slowed down, and I think it's because of YouTube too, actually, because I'm always watching videos or listening to videos and podcasts, which help me out a lot, just learning to listen. But not only listening, comprehending. And I've been wanting to learn Italian for a long, long time, so I've been studying the language again. I knew a lot of words when I was younger, and then I lost that. And then in my late 30s, I started to pick up a little bit on it again, or early 40s. Then I dusted it off, forgot again, didn't get back. But now I've been doing it the last few years, or more or less since I got back from Italy. I still have a lot of comprehension problems because I, again, learned how to block everything out, so I still kind of do that. I thought I had a horrible memory, which I think it's not as bad as I thought it was. My memory only works because I only really think I remember what I want to remember. I'm really good at blocking other things out, good or bad. If I think it's a waste, I block it out. Now that I'm in my, I just turned 50, and I've been seeing a lot of my high school friends, even junior high friends sometimes, and other people on Facebook, and you even talk to them on the phone or whatever. You run into different people, and they're always talking about all these different stories. All my New York buddies, Florida buddies, and I don't remember a lot of these stories. What's funny is they keep saying, well, we've talked about these. Not only did you do these things or were you a part of them, we've discussed these many times, and you don't even remember discussing them, which really then even puts the cherry on top that not only am I not comprehending what I did in my past or remembering it, like I just said, I can't remember even discussing these things because I didn't warrant it. I didn't think it was valuable, which was probably sometimes true, but sometimes not. But now that I have my grandmother's very old and my parents are getting older, I've learned to, and I've always had to listen to my mother and father because they're definitely way more talkers than I am. And I talk on this podcast. I'm not saying I vent, but it's a nice thing to discuss certain things that are in my head because the reality is now, for probably the last few years, I don't talk to really that many people on the phone. I mean, it's really my mother, father, I take time out for, of course, my grandmother, my daughters, my girlfriend. And if it's work-related, of course I have to talk. But you could sometimes, if I'm traveling and I already have a schedule, you'll look at my phone in a week. It'll literally just, it's kind of funny. I show my parents or everybody. It just says, Mom, Dad, 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 Mom, Rhea, Demi, Donna, Rhea, Dad, Mom, Dad, Mom. It's almost like I'm a teenager. But lately, I have learned to be all ears with a lot of different things, comprehending. Because even, I'm not even going to get into politics or any of that stuff, but I never really even watched one thing regarding politics up until basically recently. And I found it more entertaining, that's why. But I really, if there was something I was interested in, I was 100% in. If I wasn't, I was 100% out. So basically, my life was consumed by only comprehending what I wanted to comprehend and only talking about what I wanted to talk about. Now, sure, I would be in situations where people would be talking about things I wasn't interested in, and I'd either excuse myself or, again, would just look at them like a deer in headlights. They think, they thought I was comprehending what they were saying. I wasn't. But I loved small talk. I'm not going to lie about that, as long as you kept it interesting. But there were so many things people were talking about that would either aggravate me, or they would get too long-winded, or they were just stupid people, I think, and they didn't have that much to offer. Not to be an asshole. But one thing I used to love talking about more than anything was movies and television and all those things when I was younger. And then I went on to make a couple films, write, some screenplays, a bunch of screenplays. And before you know it, my identity became like this independent filmmaker. And every time somebody would see me, or anybody who contacted me or I came in contact with for a very long time, all they wanted to do was talk about movies. It kind of flipped. I got exhausted. The last thing I wanted to do was talk about how to make movies, what a producer does, what is a set, decorator, designer do, what's this, what's an executive producer, how do you get your actors, how do you insure your films, how do you get, A-list, A-B-list, actors, are you on the IMDb, can you put me in touch with this person, all this type of shit, it never ended. And I started to think, that was me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was just spent. I was just burnt out on it, which can happen to anybody. And then I wrote a couple books and blah, blah, blah. And the one thing I did realize is that I do love helping people. But I can only help people that I think truly want your help, or that you can relate to. Because I think a lot of people that are teachers or instructors or coaches, whatever, they think they can help the world or they could help all these people. And the reality is, I don't think they can, a lot of them. Even though they may have a lot of knowledge in whatever they have knowledge in, the person they're trying to teach or coach, or they have to really have a camaraderie. Is that the word? And maybe even not a familiarity, but some type of chemistry. In my opinion, that I've learned over the years. I think that works best. I don't care if people want to work out. I don't care if people want me to help them master their self-confidence. I don't care what it is. I've got to kind of get along with that person in one way or another for me to listen to them, and them for them to truly listen to me. Sure, you could teach people anything, don't get me wrong. But I really do think for both people, the best way to go about it is having that chemistry, I guess you could say. Let me grab some water. Yeah. And I actually just got hit up again for somebody wanted some help and stuff. They wanted me to do it in Chicago. I couldn't do it. But yeah, back to being all ears is not only when I'm meeting I meet people when I travel here and there, and a lot of people want to, they just talk to you. I don't care if it's in an airport or wherever I'm at. People do talk to me all the time. I have no idea. My girlfriend, my mother, a lot of people, whoever I'm with, they're like, do people just walk up to you all the time? I said, they do. She's like, how do you deal with that? I said, I don't know. I just do. I kind of have more patience now than I've ever had in my life. And before where I have this resting bitch face, kind of as a male version, resting asshole or jag-off face, I call it. But when people a lot of times are trying to talk to you, or even if it's very casual at Starbucks, an airport, someone sitting next to you on an airplane, all those things, and I get there's a time and a place where you just don't want to talk to anybody. I have the patience now to listen to people. Even in the sauna in the gym, and now that I'm doing my YouTube videos and podcasts, it kind of shocks me because I'll be at a lot of places. I was just at a family doing, and, besides my family, other people that they know that I don't really ever met, they'll ask me about a lot of different things, which is great. And I love helping them. But what's interesting is I like asking them questions and listening to them more than talking to them, because I think I get a lot more out of that for me, and I think it makes them honestly feel a lot better about themselves. And we always get where in business, if you're in a room, who's talking, who isn't, meetings and all those type of things where you could get bogged down. But I'm here to tell you, if you start listening to a lot of people in your life, not interrupting them, and while talking, not just thinking about what you have to say or countering whatever they're saying, becoming always argumentative. Is that another word? I think so. Where you always want to argue with that person, or put them in their place, or prove that they're wrong and that you're right and all that shit. If that's your disposition, God bless you. I don't want that stress anymore. And I'm not here to always correct people either. I listen to a lot of people, and you probably do too, and a lot of times it may not be always, what they're doing isn't always the right way to go, but it's the way they want to go, right? And you can always give your opinion, but there are ways of saying things without actually hurting people's feelings, where I used to just be so brutal, so direct. I think I got that from my grandfather, Joe, where it was just a brutal type. And you know what? I thought it was brutal honesty a lot of times, but what makes me think what I'm saying is actually correct a lot of times? As I got older, I realized a lot of shit I believed and talked wasn't right either. And I discuss that all the time on my podcast, the Know-It-All Dudes. I talk about that all the time, that, if everybody knew as much as they thought they knew, especially a lot of guys I know in business, and women too, in any atmospheres, men and women, they would be millionaires. They'd be multimillionaires. They'd have incredible lives, but most don't. Because most don't realize they don't know nearly as much as they think. They don't know way more than they know. I could assure you, most people in life in general. Hindsight, again, like later in life, you realize how stupid you were a lot of times, because you thought all these things were going to happen, or you thought it was going to go your way, or if I did this, that would happen, or that. And then you finally realize as you get older that was ridiculous. You don't control anybody, and it's hard enough to control your own life, let alone what others are doing, or what other businesses are doing, or what society is doing in general. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, but definitely learn. I just want to do a podcast on this because I really do think people need to acknowledge how important it is to comprehend everything that's going around them. But here's the last thing I am going to say is I don't trust most of what I hear. Especially when it comes, I can't watch commercials. I mean, I can't even get into that. The media and a lot of what you see on the internet, a majority of it is bullshit, in my opinion, if you want to believe it all. But I do think we get caught up, back to all ears. We always like to listen to and believe only what we want to hear, what we think is truthful, when a lot of times it's not, especially when it comes to religion and politics, maybe even your favorite sports teams or whatever the case may be. When you hear news that you like to hear, you speak it as well. Pay attention. A lot, again, the shit you're hearing may be true, but there's probably a lot of untruth to it as well. And the same goes for your life or other people's lives as well. When you're listening, the famous saying, there's usually two sides to every story, and in the middle there's the truth. So just pay attention to that. All right. If you get a chance, check out my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Rich Celenza. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right. Take care, and if you're traveling, safe travels.